All right, here we are, episode number 2 of Always Wright. How you doing, Adam?
I'm doing great. Man, thank you so much for incredible feedback and response to episode 1. It made our world. So thank you. What a great first episode.
It was a great first episode. I loved all the feedback. A lot of family, a lot of friends tuned in and watched the entire...
And random people roasting you.
And random people roasting me, including my little niece who said, and I quote, Uncle Steve might have overshared a bit on a family story. I love that. And I really appreciate everybody taking their precious time to watch this podcast. So before we get started, I thought we need to rewind a little bit because we really missed a few introductions last episode because we actually filmed one. It didn't go right, so we had to film a second one, so we missed some things. So number one, people are asking, why do we call this podcast Always Wright? So our middle name is Wright with a W, as in the Wright brothers. So Adam is actually the 4th generation with the middle name Wright. It started with his great-grandfather, and we're from North Carolina, and that middle name came from being named after the Wright brothers. So my grandfather, my dad, myself, and Adam all have the middle name. So, and on top of that, when Adam and I argue, we always both think we're always right. So it just made sense to name the podcast Always Wright. So there you go, the story behind the name.
Well, how was your week since we spoke last?
It was good. Long week, but it was good. So it's funny. Kind of goes into my introductions a little bit. I want to tell you about a funny moment. So when Mom and I were dating, okay, we went to the movies every single Friday night. Every Friday night, no matter what the movie was, we went, and we dated for 4 years. And I thought Mom loved going to the movies every Friday night. Got married, continued, went to the movies every Friday. She even did a midnight release. I think Aunt Susie came with us of Batman and Robin. But the funny story is when you were born, I almost felt like you were born. She handed you to me and said, he's going to take over going to the movies with you from here on out. I'm out. So you and Isabel's Adam's girlfriend, producer, director, camera, sound person for us. She not only saves lives in a day as an emergency room nurse, but on her own time, she helps us with this podcast. Well, you and Isabel were talking about going to seeing the new Alien movie, which we haven't seen yet, but we'll talk about that soon. And you just assumed, like I used to, that Isabel wanted to go with you and watch the film. And you said, let's go. And she said, no. And she goes, well, what's it about? And you're like, well, it takes place in space. And she goes, nope, I'm out. Take your dad. And it just kind of was funny. It reminded me of your mom. We assumed they want to come to the movies with us, but no, she was out. It was not her film. So, and I think you guys went and saw another film, and you're going to talk about that in a bit. But that was my funny moment for this week. Her basically telling you, no, if it has space in it, I'm out. So.
There you go again, oversharing on my life.
Oversharing. That's what this podcast is all about.
Maybe we should do a segment called Funny Moment of the Week.
There we go. Yeah. All right. How was your week, Adam? What?
That was so cringy. Anyways.
How was your week, Adam?
All right. My week was fantastic. It was great to see everybody, family from all over, and it was very nice. And the response we had for this podcast, everybody talking about it and supporting us, and just very wonderful things were said, and family from all over the country and other countries listening and appreciating it, and all the feedback and the responses and everybody being mean to you. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah, I did get some feedback from...
Well, maybe if you don't hate the Guardians movies, people would
Guardians, calling animation cartoons. Yeah, I heard some from family friends. I've heard some oversharing, family secrets.
There was random people on TikTok calling you out.
That's okay.
for hating the
that's
Guardians.
Hey, that's what this is about, man. So
Absolutely absurd you hate the Guardians, but
I don't hate the Guardians, just didn't rock my world. So
okay. What have you been watching this week? What's been on your watch list?
since you say I watch a lot of TV,
Every
TV show, I actually started a new series on Netflix called Your Honor with Bryan Cranston. Kind of slow, really dark, but the acting from Bryan Cranston's amazing, and it does keep you kind of hooked in. So I'm not done with it yet. Great show, great acting. Just a little dark and dingy compared to me watching Vikings Valhalla. I talked about that last week. Amazing, amazing season. You just want to watch more. So you go from a show like, action and fast paced like Vikings to a more of a drama with Your Honor. It's a kind of a change, but I am enjoying it, enjoying the acting in it for sure. So what are you watching?
That's all you've been watching?
That's all I've been watching, man.
Shocker. How far are you in for Your Honor?
I'm probably almost done.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, that's ridiculous. I watched after last week talking about SpongeBob, Sandy Cheeks saves Bikini Bottom. And
Say that 5 times.
And that awful mess of a movie, horrendous. I decided to go back and watch the 2004 SpongeBob movie.
Oh my gosh,
which was a classic, and that is a phenomenal movie. You know what you want to talk about?
No, man, I don't. And just a reminder to the audience, Adam is 23 years old, but go on. Seriously. Gosh.
Great movie. Great movie. I watched Alien.
Okay.
Which we will talk about later in the episode of my thoughts on Alien, or both of our thoughts on Alien. And then we watched recently, as in an hour ago, just got out of the theater for M. Night Shyamalan's Trap.
Awesome.
And I wanted to just give my quick review on Trap.
Cool.
My review for Trap out of 10 is a 7.
Wow.
And I want to include Isabel's ranking in here. Isabel, what was your ranking for Trap out of 10? A 7 as well,
wow.
Which is a shocker because she walked out loving it. Isabel does have a hot take about the movie. Actually, before I get into that, I want to hear your opinion on this debate that's going on in the film world right now.
Okay.
Trap is a movie based on... Actually, let me go over a synopsis. Trap is a movie based on what if a serial killer was caught at a Taylor Swift concert. That is the premise of the movie.
Okay.
So they throw a concert. The city of Philadelphia, go Phillies, threw a concert to go because they knew this guy was going to go to the concert. So they threw a concert to get this guy to go to a concert. And they just, the entire U.S. military was surrounded the place. That's basically the premise. So the star of the concert, the Taylor Swift character, her name was Lady Raven, was played by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. She produced, wrote, performed, acted, all of it. She wrote all the music. She did everything for it. Do you feel like that's some sort of... Did he kind of make this movie to blow up his daughter? And I'll give you my take on it afterwards. Like, do you think there was a little bit of that? I know you didn't watch the movie, but...
No, and here, I love M. Night Shyamalan. I will be honest, though, his films, and I know they're all of his films, he writes them, he produces them, he directs them.
And he puts his own money in
And he puts his own money into them. So they're, like, every one of them is a special project for him. Now, he's had some amazing films. Obviously, Sixth Sense, right? Signs. He's had some amazing films. And he's had some not so amazing films.
Last Airbender.
Yeah, but that's okay. I think he is a very independent, creative filmmaker. You answered the question, meaning if you and Isabel went and you both rated it a 7 out of 10, then you enjoyed it, right? It was a good story. You were into it. So whether it was a commercial for his daughter or not, you just watched a good movie. So if his daughter benefits from it, it sounds like she's just as talented as he is.
So I agree with you. She was awesome in the movie. The music was fantastic. She was a great performer. If she was not as good as she was, I may have been on the other side of, hey, maybe he's just trying to. But she is really good. I would listen to her music. It is like she is awesome.
There you go.
The music was fantastic. So Isabel is saying no, the music was not good.
Okay. But the movie was 7 out of 10.
It was all right. So Isabel has a hot take about this movie.
Okay.
Isabel thinks, I do not agree with this. Isabel thinks everybody in the movie was bad. She thinks every actor was bad except for the little girl in the movie.
Okay.
Oh, now you're saying the second half they were pretty good. Which means, wouldn't that mean the first? So she thought the guy that plays the serial killer, that's not a spoiler, that's what the premise of, was not good in the movie.
He's a good actor.
I thought he was great. I thought he was really good. Actually, I think he would have been a great Superman when he was younger. He looked like he had the kind of like that hair, and he has the build. He's huge in this movie. He's a big man. Anyways, she thought that he was bad in the movie. She thought M. Night Shyamalan's daughter was bad. In the beginning, she was kind of, I was worried, but at the end, she becomes a character in the movie, and she was really good. I thought she was really good. And the daughter was great. She was a great, and even at the end, they got emotional, and she was fantastic in it. That's her hot take, that nobody in the movie was good.
Okay.
But she liked it, and she liked it more than Knocked at the Cabin, which came out, like, I think 2 years ago.
I haven't even seen that.
That was good, which had probably the best acting in it. Probably Dave Bautista's best performance ever was in that movie. So it's weird how he can direct actors that Isabel thinks are the best versus actors that she thinks is the worst, just one movie apart. Thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, and Dave Bautista, you got to respect him. He really wants. He's changing his physique. He really wants to be taken serious as an actor.
He was huge in that movie. Knock at the Cabin, he was huge.
Not anymore,
but he was
though.
really good.
Not anymore. He's trying to get different roles, and you got to respect that as an actor.
Oh yeah, he was really good.
But M. Night Shyamalan, always worth a watch, and you got to respect him. He's an amazing filmmaker.
I think I kind of like more of his movies than I don't.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, so that's a 7 out of 10 for me. I really did enjoy it. It was a fun. It kind of had my heart pounding through different moments.
Are you rooting for the serial killer, or are you rooting for him to be caught?
No, you're rooting for him to be caught.
Okay.
But he is the main character.
That's interesting.
But you're rooting for him to be caught.
Okay.
Sure. Wish. Oh, Isabel says she was rooting for him. That kind of is a great. No, you should not be rooting for him.
We're worried about Isabel.
No, you don't. No, it doesn't.
Feel bad for the serial killer?
He has. She's talking about spoiler warning for Trap. It came out a while ago. I'm not really concerned about it. Skip 30 seconds if you don't want to hear. The guy has OCD, and that's why she's saying. And because his mom treated him poorly when he was a kid, he has OCD now. They really talked about that. Yeah, you. That's why she feels bad for him.
Okay. Well.
So you don't feel bad for him. Because the dad gets taken away at the end.
You guys literally just spoiled the whole film.
Spoiler warning.
It's a spoiler. Okay, guys, this is a spoiler-free podcast. You can't do stuff like that.
No, you have to talk about spoilers in the podcast. We just talked about Deadpool and Wolverine the entire last episode.
Yeah, 3 weeks later.
This movie came out the same time as... Actually, it might have came out before Deadpool and Wolverine.
Okay. All right.
It's been out for a minute.
Sorry, everybody.
It's been out for a minute.
And especially M. Night Shyamalan movies, you don't... I mean,
There's no twist in this movie.
There are people that still have not seen The Sixth Sense, but it's like...
Yes, I agree.
When The Sixth Sense came out, you did not spoil it. Nobody spoiled it. Now,
agree.
this was pre-social media, but...
This wasn't a big twist.
Dude,
there's
but
no
still,
spoiling.
Come on, have respect for the fans. My gosh. My Think Geek peeps would be so disappointed in you right now, Adam. My gosh. Okay, anyways, let's move on. They would. It's always a sport. Like, that was our commitment. 50? No, I am not, but thank you.
Oh, yeah, you're 49 3/4.
Okay.
Well, I can't wait for that episode to come out, your 50th birthday episode.
Okay.
We're going to get giant balloons right here.
Okay, all right.
And then, like, have a cane
wow.
sitting there right next to you.
Okay. Move on.
Okay, let's move on to our next new segment. These are all kind of new. We're kind of having a more structure to these episodes.
Okay.
Our new segment, Nerd News.
Nerd News. What's happening? What can we call it? Geek News? There's a difference between geeks and nerds.
Alliteration. Nerd News.
Okay.
Fine, geek news, whatever.
What geek news do you have?
Some of these you may have heard. Some of these you have not.
Okay.
Big news. All of these are rumors, by the way.
Okay.
Marshall Ali
Mm-hmm.
reportedly likely to step down as Blade.
What?
And they are looking for a new actor, and they are looking for Lakeith Stanfield because they feel bad for replacing him as Silver Surfer because he was supposed to be Silver Surfer, but they gave that to somebody else. And so they feel bad, so they're going to offer him the role of Blade.
I think they need to pause this film.
Well, they already said it comes out after Secret Wars now.
Seriously, how did
they announced this movie? When 2020 they announced this movie.
I think it was before then because
Nope.
I saw him on the airplane before then.
It was 2020.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
It was
even
the
called
end
him
of
Blade on the
2020.
airplane. I
Yeah,
said,
it
"What's
was
up, Blade?"
End of 2020, so you probably went back to work.
Wow, that's crazy. That's sad. That's sad.
Yeah, so what are your takes on that? Were you excited for Marshall Ali?
I was
This
excited.
is rumored. He's
Okay.
not stepped down yet, so
I was excited about a new Blade film. I think we talked last episode. Big Wesley Snipes fan. I love the tribute that he got in Deadpool and Wolverine. But I was excited for another Blade movie. I think they're at the end of Eternals. They had a little clip like in the post credit.
of him talking to.
Yeah, I was excited about Blade. I was, and I thought he would have had a really interesting take on the character.
He's kind of built because he's tall and skinny, and he's kind of built like a vampire already.
Yeah, I just don't understand why they can't get their act together with this film.
It's an easy layup.
Yeah, I don't
It's a
get
layup.
it.
Make it R-rated.
And
set
now
it by itself.
Yeah, it was
Boom,
going to be R
layup.
rated. So I mean, Deadpool definitely paved the way for that. So I don't know.
Speaking of, one of my favorite openings to any movie ever is Blade 1's opening in the club. That is a great opening to a movie.
Yeah. Hey, Wesley's the godfather of Marvel. You know, he started it all.
Yeah, so let's move on to our next news.
Okay.
Sony reportedly not renegotiating with Phil Lord and Chris Miller's contracts for the Spider-Man in the Sony universe over disagreements on the budget for the Spider-Man Noir TV series. That is awful news.
It is.
There could not be worse news to ever come out than that news.
Look, the Spider-Verse films were great. They did financially. They did awesome.
I was waiting for you to say it.
Those are some of the best cartoons I've seen.
Oh wow, that is.
But
I thought you didn't like those movies.
They were okay. Yeah, they were good, and they performed extremely well. Meaning, I'm talking financially now. Sony should give these filmmakers what they want. Now,
they should give them all a Spider-Man.
Now, Spider-Man Noir TV series with Nicolas Cage, whack whack. I mean, come on. What I don't want is Sony milking Spider-Man until people are so sick of Spider-Man. You're not going to get your Spider-Man anymore.
Yeah, now that they're not renegotiating.
The concept of this podcast is I represent the average fan, and the average fan's like, oh my gosh, Nicolas Cage is Spider-Man in a TV show. Cheese. No. So I don't even think they should make the Spider-Man Noir. I think that's a big step in the wrong direction.
Does this impact Spider-Verse 3?
I'm sure
Beyond
it does.
The Spider-Verse?
Now, but give them what they want for the Spider-Verse films. They proved they know what they're doing.
Character. They know the character. Give them everything.
I agree, but Spider-Man Noir, okay.
I am really hurt by this because I love them. I think they're amazing.
It's bad news for Sony. It's another step in the wrong direction.
This would be it. That'd be it.
Yeah,
Craven would be the last live-action movie.
And I am excited about Craven, by the way.
Because it's rated R now.
I thought it should have been rated R the whole time.
I think it was, but Rhino looks actually pretty good.
Yeah,
let's talk about Rhino. Did you see the new trailer?
I did. Looks awesome. Better than the robotic Rhino and the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2. So,
but did you see the reports that Craven is like vegetarian and he loves animals? And
no, I didn't see that.
That's so stupid.
Well, we'll see. It's going to be a great film. I think it is. It's going to be fun.
Okay.
Sure, right. Buddy. Hey, man, I love my Madam Web.
Says Madam Web.
I love my Madam Web. Here. So
Madam Web's a bad movie. Actually, they've all been bad movies, other than probably Venom 1.
I thought you enjoyed Morpheus for what it was.
Morbius, not Morpheus.
Whatever.
Bro,
Morbius.
Are you talking about what's the name of the movie?
The
Oh my God.
Matrix.
The Matrix. Yeah, Morbius from The Matrix.
Okay.
Oh, you're such a big fan of Morbius.
So everybody,
You remember his name.
this podcast is not edited. So when we mess up, it's highlighted.
I'm not taking that out. Morpheus?
I'm sure this is going to be on.
my
I can see the
God.
subtitles right now on the screen when it gets edited by Adam. So, yeah. Anyway,
That is terrible.
Morbius, I thought was an okay film.
Which one do you like more, Morbius or Madam Web?
Morbius for sure.
And you really like Madam Web, so
For what it
so
was.
how much do you like Morbius?
Yes. Yeah. Now, I don't think Sony should be making these movies with B and C villains from Spider-Man. I think it's silly, and it's
This
just
is
they're
another
milking Spider-Man.
That I just read.
What's that?
Marvel is not allowed to use characters that Sony has already used,
Correct.
which means that's why we haven't seen Green Goblin. That's why we haven't seen Doc Ock. That's why we'll never see a Kraven in the MCU, a Venom in the MCU. Like, that's kind of a big issue.
Yeah, Sony is messing it up for everybody. Sorry.
Yeah, if we just had a perfect MCU Spider-Man.
If they could just give the rights back to Marvel
Oh, my
100%, it would be
Well,
amazing.
speaking of Spider-Man, let's move on to number 3, nerd news number 3. Sydney Sweeney is being considered for Black Cat in Spider-Man 4.
I don't
No,
really,
that's perfect casting.
I really don't know who she is, but sounds like
Again, the Death Star right now.
somebody from your generation. Am I getting the side eye from Isabel?
No, I am.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know who that is, but
You don't know who Sydney Sweeney is?
yeah.
You do know. who
Why is
Sydney
Black Cat going to be in Spider-Man 4? Is this taking the
Because
route of
this
a
is the
street
perfect-
hero, like a neighborhood hero?
Hopefully, but this is perfect. This is perfect. Isabel's saying this because she does not. She wants Zendaya to be in Spider-Man 4 again. I do not.
Why?
Don't let her. Why? They ended it perfectly.
So she's gone.
Yeah, I think that's how she could be
Uh,
a side character where he's like watching her, which sounds creepy, but let him he made the right decision. At the
And
end
what
of No
about
Way
his
Home.
buddy? You think he'll become the Hobgoblin?
I don't think they should even touch them in this new trilogy.
Wow.
I think they should leave it as it is.
That's a hot take.
Or let this first movie, let them just do not have him go back to Zendaya already.
Wow.
No,
Interesting.
let him experiment with somebody.
Experiment. This is a kid-friendly show, dude.
Let him.
My
meet
gosh.
a Gwen Stacy.
Okay.
Let him meet a Black Cat. But this is perfect.
Okay. All right.
Like, we've not seen Black Cat.
I don't
in
think
live
I've seen a
action.
movie with this Stacy lady in it. So
Gwen Stacy.
who's still going to be Black Cat?
Oh, Sydney Sweeney. You
Sweeney.
have seen movies with her in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Madam Web.
Oh, she was in that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Whoops. Sorry.
Madam Web defender.
If you're a fan of hers, I apologize.
everybody's a fan of Sydney Sweeney's.
Okay. Okay. You again, kid-friendly podcast
I haven't
here.
said anything.
Creeper.
I'm being stared
All
at.
right, let's go. Come on.
Okay. Probably my favorite news of the week. Happy Gilmore 2 starts filming this week in New Jersey.
That's awesome. That's cool.
I can't believe we're here making a Happy Gilmore 2. I am so excited.
It's gonna be fun. That's a great film.
Travis Kelce has a cameo in it.
That's awesome. I remember seeing that film in the theater, like with your mom on one of those Friday
It's
nights.
the best Adam Sandler movie to do a sequel for.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm excited
Give
for that.
me more.
And I'm sure they're gonna do a nice tribute to Carl Weathers as well.
Yeah.
I guarantee you they will, which is
I
well
wonder if they
deserved.
wrote this before he died.
I'm not sure.
Oh, wait,
but-
no. He died in Happy Gilmore, too. Or Happy Gilmore. He died
Yeah,
in Happy
but
Gilmore.
obviously him and Adam Sandler are friends,
I know.
and I'm sure there'll be a nice
yeah,
tribute.
That
So
broke my heart. All right. Last nerd news of the week. Robert Downey Jr. confirmed to be Victor Von Doom. He confirmed it himself.
okay, well
Which
that's old news, but
but he's now confirmed that he is Victor Von Doom. And he talks about how important it is to get it right.
right,
Yeah.
yeah,
we knew.
Well,
We all knew that. Yeah.
a $30 billion franchise is riding on
his
that.
performance.
So yeah,
I did see somebody make an animated kind of thing today, and it actually it was
What, you're on the dark web? Well, like,
No, Spider-Man was fighting Doctor Doom, and he whips and he grabs his mask and he rips it, and it's Robert Downey Jr.
it's like a little head going like this because it's
No,
like,
oh my god. And so then he sees him, and you're like, oh my goodness. And then you see Toby and Hugh Jackman like go in front of him and like start trying to protect him because they know his relationship with Tony Stark or whatever. And then the Fantastic Four are behind him, and then a portal opens, and it's another superior Iron Man, and then a superior Iron Man versus Doctor Doom. Pretty cool. I actually thought it looked cool.
yeah, okay. You follow some. Okay. Anyway,
All right.
Weird
this
stuff.
is your segment now. Lead us into box office review.
all right, box office. So every week we're going to talk about what films are doing well in the box office. This is something that Adam and I are really passionate about because we love going to the movies. We love going to the
and
movie
we want
theater.
them to still be there.
And we want movie theaters to stay around because we think that's a part of the movie going experience. As you heard, we've gone to the movies together for his entire life. So we're always going to talk about performance in the box office. And I have some really good news. So
Before we start, I'm gonna guess the top three.
okay, go ahead.
Number one, don't tell me right away. Just let me go through the first three.
Sure.
I'm gonna go Alien Romulus, number one.
Okay.
Number two, this is where I struggle. Do I go Deadpool and Wolverine, or is it gonna be the It Ends With Us? I'm gonna go It Ends With Us, and three is Deadpool and Wolverine. Now hit us with your top five.
Okay. Number one is Alien. You were right. $42 million. And I want to say it's one of the better openings recently of the Alien franchise. You and I are going to go see it probably next week.
And review it on next pod.
And we'll review it on the next pod. Excited to see it. Kind of like the name is weird, Romulus. It's like reminds me of Romulade. Like I think it's taking place in New Orleans or something. This time the aliens coming out of Bourbon Street. But anyway, I'm excited about seeing that with you. Deadpool and Wolverine hanging on, $30 million.
Wow.
Number two, domestic is $546 million, which is amazing. It is now the highest grossing R-rated film worldwide all time, $1.17 billion dollars. I apologize. It's great to see. And another fun fact, all three Deadpool films are in the top 10 of worldwide gross for R-rated films. So that hats off to Ryan Reynolds. Very close. Ends With Us, $23 million for this type of film during the summer, during, where less people are going to the movie theaters. You got all these cool films competing with it.
It's a lot.
Huge. Absolutely huge. I don't know if you know. I don't know the budget of it, but I'm sure it's like triple.
150.
150?
Or maybe it was 50.
Probably 50, dude.
Yeah,
probably 50. It's making money. It's doing really well. And the thing is it, 23 million in the second weekend is amazing. Another film that I'm super proud of, great movie, was Twisters. $10 million.
Great summer movie.
Great summer movie. I remember watching the original with your mom in 1996. $238 million. I think that film right there kind of tells you like the kind of summer we're having at the box office because it has stayed in the top 5. And then Coraline, the 15th anniversary.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, $9 million. Not bad at all for.
I'm really this. I don't know how you feel about this. I'm really happy that they're re-releasing older movies in the theaters. I like it. I think it's cool. Re-release. I saw Return of the Jedi in theaters again. That's a movie I've never gotten to see in theaters.
Good point.
That was really cool. I will probably go see Coraline in theaters.
Okay.
If it stays around for a bit. I don't know how long it's going to stay. Why wouldn't they do that?
No.
It's extra money that they're going on top of that.
Especially during the off-peak times when you don't have a really packed calendar with blockbusters. It would be a good thing to do.
Several of the Spider-Mans in theaters again when they did all of those again. I think it's awesome. I think it's great.
Well, it's a great sign for the movie theater business.
That makes me very happy.
Thank you to Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman because I think they were, and even before them, Twisters kind of kicked it off.
Twisters had a great. I'm trying to think, did anything else come before Twisters? That was kind of big.
That's kind of the first big one.
All right, well, let's bring it into a new segment that I am very excited for. Our Rotten Tomatoes segment.
Okay.
I'm going to give you 2 new movies, and we're going to both guess. By the time we're recording this, The Crow has not come out yet.
Okay.
By the time we upload this, probably will be out. So the Rotten Tomatoes will be out, but we're going to guess the Crow remake audience and critic score, as well as Beetlejuice audience and critic score.
Ooh.
And then I have 5 older movies that you're going to guess the critic and audience score.
Okay.
All right, let's start with the Crow remake. What do you think the critic and audience score for the Crow remake will be?
Critic will be 45.
Oh,
Yeah. And audience, I think, will be a 70.
wow! You're thinking this is not going to hit.
No. You know,
I've never seen the original.
The original's amazing. Obviously, the story behind it. Bruce Lee's son, Brandon Lee,
Yes.
died on the set. The original film, I think, pulled in about $50 million, but this is obviously the mid-90s, so that was for its budget, it did really well. And it had an amazing soundtrack, very alternative, like Nine Inch Nails. Great soundtrack.
Which, by the way, they just been announced to do Tron 3 soundtrack.
Oh, okay.
9 Inch Nails.
So, which Nine Inch Nails is really one guy, but yeah, the first one was okay. It was good. It was kind of like a cult movie, and obviously, I think what happened kind of drove the box office.
People love that movie, though.
Yes, it has a huge following. A buddy of mine it was one of his favorite movies of all time. That being said, it's been over 30 years, okay? And though $50 million was good, it was not great for the original. I don't think it's going to resonate with the audience today. And even though the guy playing the Crow is the guy from It, who played the clown, amazing actor. I don't know.
He looks good in it, too.
Yeah.
He's like gained muscle. He looks really good.
Well, super talented family altogether. Amazing family of actors, but I don't see it doing well at all.
Really? I think critic score for that, I'm going to go 85.
Whoa.
Audience score, I'm giving it a 90.
Okay.
I have a lot of faith in it. I just saw the trailer today.
That's a hot take.
This is not about how it's going to do. This is
with
how
you.
It's perceived.
Yeah. Okay. So are we going to loop back and
Yes.
Okay.
This
cool.
will be an ongoing
I look
segment.
forward to that.
Yes. Every week we'll talk about our other stuff that we've done.
Okay.
All right. Let's talk about Beetlejuice. This is going to be interesting because by the way, spoiler ahead, this is one of the older Rotten Tomatoes movies, and I was shocked by its Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
So interesting. I think it looks great. I like the practical effects. I think it looks awesome. Critic score, I'm going to give it a 80.
Okay.
Audience score, I'm going to give it an 85. I think it's going to... I just think it looks really fun. I think the people that go... I don't know if it'll make an insane amount of money, but I think the people that go... And I love Willem Dafoe, and Willem Dafoe looks great in it.
I'm with you. So I'm going to say probably a 75 critic and maybe an 80 audience.
Higher than I thought.
I'm going to be honest with you. Hey, the cast, Michael Keaton, amazing. You've got Winona Ryder coming back. So
she looks great.
And then she
does not age.
She has not aged today. And then who's the actress that plays Wednesday?
Oh, Jenna Ortega.
Yeah, she's a popular actress right now. The casting is amazing. Again, it's almost 40 years later after the original film. So will it work? It's kind of like what you and I talked about with the latest Indiana Jones film. Do kids today really know who Indiana Jones is?
Well,
right? So is it just too late for this sequel?
Let's talk about this era that we are in. What I call the legacy era.
Okay.
We are in, and we are still living it. And I tell you this all the time. Anakin comes back. Hayden Christensen comes back as Anakin.
Okay.
Toby and Andrew come back as Spider-Man. Ewan McGregor comes back as Obi-Wan. We got Michael Keaton coming back as Batman and Beetlejuice. You got Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin. All of the Spider-Man villains. Just think about this era that we're in. Indiana Jones came back. We are in the era. Scream Scream came back.
You're right.
Halloween came back.
But have they been welcomed with open arms?
Some have, some have not.
It's a mixed bag, right?
Some people did not like Obi-Wan. Me and you really enjoyed Obi-Wan. Some people.
Awesome show. But again, you and I are different. Like, you grew up watching all the movies from the 70s, 80s, 90s. Like, they were a part of your childhood.
Ghostbusters has returned.
Yeah, but
we are in the... So I read this thing the other day that studios, because of streaming... When a movie came out in theaters, they knew that they were going to at least make their money back with digital.
Right.
That doesn't happen anymore. Nobody buys digital anymore.
Right.
Right? So they are strictly, this is just what I read the other day, only doing IP stuff. And that's why there's no more original stuff, because there's just so much more of a risk. You're not making your money back. The studio is making its money back with the streaming. Even then, they're struggling. That's why the prices are always going up, up, and up. They just announced Disney Plus's price is going to go up.
Yeah, I just think it's got to be top quality content
There's
that
no
resonates with this audience. I remember my buddy said that when Post Malone did the song with Ozzy, this generation, not you, obviously you know who Ozzy is, but a lot of people, he had heard kids from just this generation saying, "Oh, isn't it so sweet that Post Malone is giving that elderly guy a shot to be famous?"
Yeah.
He's Ozzy Osbourne. He should be knighted for what he did in the UK, right? So, I don't know. It's got to be good content. And I think both films are a risk. They're definitely a risk. Not just with the critic and audience score, but they're going to be a risk with the box office.
Yeah, so let's go into our old Rotten Tomatoes, where you're going to guess the critic and audience score.
Yeah, so this is going to be shocking, I think.
Yeah, there's some shockers that I thought for sure on here. Let's go Beetlejuice, number 1. What do you think the critic and audience score is for Beetlejuice?
50-70.
50-70. I was shocked by this.
Okay.
Critic score, 85.
Wow.
Audience score, 82. Lower than the critic score.
Wow. But you know what? That surprises me, because I see a lot of the older films on Rotten Tomatoes and their scores are usually a lot worse than what I think they would be. So that's cool. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So why did you think lower?
Because that's been the trend.
Did you like Beetlejuice, or?
I liked it. Yeah. It was fun. Yeah.
All right. Let's go Happy Gilmore, since we talked about Happy Gilmore too. What do you think Happy Gilmore critics and audience score is? Now, comedies are so hard to gauge.
Critic 45, audience 75.
Critic 62.
Okay.
That is really high for a comedy.
Right.
Comedy is so subjective, but this is arguably probably Adam Sandler's critic-wise best movie.
Okay.
Audience 85. No shocker.
Makes sense. Yeah. Perfect. Okay.
What do you think Happy Gilmore what do you think number 2 is going to do?
I don't know. I mean, I think...
You got to go lower.
Yeah, you got to say probably critic 60,
Will they bring audience... back... Sorry, keep going.
Audience 85, 90.
Will they bring back the mom from Modern Family, you think?
I don't know.
I hope so. All right, on to Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I want you to give me your critic score and audience score.
Critics 90.
90?
Yeah, audience 95.
Really?
Yeah, I mean...
Critic 95, audience 94.
Wow.
Critics were actually higher on this movie.
That's amazing.
Than audience. Yeah, this should be 100 and 100.
Okay.
Should be 100 and 100.
Should be on Saturday mornings, but anyway. It was good, but I mean, yeah, I know.
It was perfect.
Perfect.
Down to the last minute detail.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Well, God, that's from a movie. It was perfect. You don't remember?
What movie?
It was perfect. Down to the... Okay, anyways. The next movie up for Rotten Tomatoes, Jaws. Critic and audience score.
Ooh.
This shocked me.
Critic 72, audience 85.
Wow. That low on both.
A lot of the older movies get low reviews on Rotten Tomato.
Jaws,
prove me wrong.
Critic 97.
Wow.
Audience, what do you think audience would be? Now that you know critic is 97.
94.
90.
Wow.
Critics 8 Jaws up, no pun intended. People, that was pretty good. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was great. And in the beginning, when Jaws is attacking the swimmer at night, it's actually Steven Spielberg underneath her pulling her down.
Oh, really? I didn't know
because
that.
they could not get the shark to work.
Wow.
And that is a great example that music makes movies. John Williams, legend.
Probably the best.
Yeah,
to ever
absolutely.
do it. All right, let's go on to Alien, which then will lead into an Alien review.
The original Alien.
Alien.
Oof.
Ridley Scott.
All right, well, you've got me on this. I'm going to say critic 80, audience 87.
Why do you think that?
I mean, it was highly regarded. Don't quote me. I do think there was some Academy Award nominations, if not wins in certain categories for this particular. I could be wrong.
Design.
I could be wrong. But yeah, I think it was really well received. It was like the first of its kind. And obviously for the audience, it spawned all the sequels. So what do you got?
Critic score 93.
Okay.
Audience score 94.
Wow.
Critics and audience were kind of together on this one.
Wow. Okay. So you saw Ramalade. How was it?
I didn't see Romulus. That's next week.
Oh, sorry. You watched the original Alien.
Yes,
sorry.
I watched the original
Right.
Alien. So let's bring into our Alien review. What is your Alien score out of 10? I know you haven't seen it in a long time, but
It's been a long time. I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10?
Yeah, I would.
That is low.
This is going to carry on next episode, but my Alien movie, like everybody, is Aliens. By the way, I'm going to ask Adam to do a poll on our Instagram page. Which is better?
Follow us on Instagram.
Alien
Podcast.
or Aliens? It's kind of like Terminator and Terminator 2. But anyway, Adam has not watched Aliens yet.
Both by James Cameron.
Yes, absolutely. So
I will be watching Aliens before
Okay.
next pod, so we'll have our discussion about that.
yeah, so
On next podcast, along with a bracket as well, which is a cool bracket.
it was a good start to the franchise. It's kind of like Terminator. Terminator was a good movie, but it just, launched into the
Are you ready for my
sequel.
score?
Yeah,
What do you think I'm going to give it?
8 out of 10.
8.5 out of 10.
Wow.
I really loved it. The scene of the chest thingy-mabobber coming out of him, which the actors did not know was in the body. And you can tell it goes boom. It does the first little pop out in his chest, and all the actors' faces just go like just blank. And you're like, oh. And then it bursts out, and then all the blood flies out and everything. It is awesome. Awesome. I was really, at the end of Alien, spoiler for the 1979 movie Alien.
Yeah, it's okay. People, if you haven't seen it by now, then
She self-destructs the ship, and you think that the alien is on the ship. It is not on the ship. I am very thankful. When she self-destructed the ship, I'm like, she didn't even really see the xenomorph in it, I was like, she didn't really fight it, but I was wrong. She does fight it at the end. She spears it, and then it tries to climb back in, then she turns the jets on, and it fries the xenomorph. That was a cool ending. She is awesome in it.
Sigourney Weaver is amazing.
She was awesome in it. She carried that movie. She was really good. Actually, everybody in the reveal that Ash was a robot. Do you remember any of
Yep, I do remember that.
That was a crazy reveal.
Yeah, a great start to an amazing franchise for sure.
I really enjoyed Alien, and I'm looking forward to watch Aliens. I think that I will prefer Alien over Aliens because I like the horror vibe, and I know that Aliens is an action movie, not a horror movie.
But it still has a horror vibe to it. So
if it does, great. I know there's probably a bunch of xenomorphs if she's fighting them also. It's going to be weird.
I look forward to you watching it.
And I'm really looking forward to Alien Romulus. People are eating it up. People are loving it. It's doing great at the box office. Some fellow podcasters are giving it 10s out of 10s.
Wow.
The reviews are amazing on it.
And it's been a long time since an Alien movie has done well in the box office. I'll be honest with you.
Did Prometheus do good?
No. I'm shocked that I'm shocked that it got funded. to be honest
Yeah,
with you.
because it's cheap. This one was cheap. It takes place all in one spaceship, I heard.
There you go. So, but Ridley Scott directed it, right?
No.
No? Okay.
No, not this one, no. I think he signed off on it, though.
Great franchise, but it's lost its way
Does
over
Ridley
the
Scott
years.
do Gladiator, too?
He did.
Wow.
And he's doing the sequel.
Successful run
Oh.
for Ridley Scott this year.
He's a legend. So
Wow. Well, that is the end of episode 2 of the Always Wright podcast. That was awesome. Except for your Madam Web and Morbius defending.
Morpheus.
So wait, before we end it, what would you prefer more, Across the Spider-Verse or Madam Web? Go.
Oh, you would have to say Across the Spider-Verse.
Well, but you personally,
your cartoon gets a thumbs up with that one.
If you're turning on the TV or putting on a movie, you put on Madam Web or you put on Across the Spider-Verse?
No, I'd put the cartoon on.
Oh, you're lucky. I was ready to roast you. People
Wow.
love those movies.
I can't believe you're looking forward to Spider-Man Noir with Nicolas Cage. I don't know.
It's interesting. Why not?
Okay. One thing I want to talk about on a future podcast as well. Do you go back and watch TV shows where you know they've been canceled for the second season? My example is Acolyte. We have not watched it yet. It's been canceled. Do we invest the time? I don't know, but a great topic for the future.
Yeah, kind of shocker. Well, not really. They give these shows huge budgets, and if I don't know how it works. I don't know if the show gets paid per view. I don't know how it works.
Streaming's a different business model. I don't know how it works. I mean,
they're putting a lot of money into these shows when they don't have to.
Yeah, their revenue is really dictated by subscriptions.
They could have just made an Acolyte movie.
Yeah, but for another time, everybody, thank you all so much for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you all next week. If you haven't already, please follow us on YouTube, on Instagram, and TikTok. It's the Always Wright Podcast.
On all platforms, the Always Wright Podcast.
And now you know, Wright is our middle name. Have a great week, everybody.
You suck.